The suspect behind the shooting of the UnitedHealthcare CEO has been found and charged with murder. And now the entire world and internet is spun up in Luigi Mangione's war with healthcare. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. This is a story that we're going to be talking about for a while, I suspect, and I'm glad Raees is still here to break down what happened, what's going on so far, and what is going to happen next. Raees, good to have you back in studio, sir.
My pleasure.
He's in here trying to get a lift quickly, so we're going to try to get through as quick as possible because he had limited time. So I want to maximize my time with Raees to sort of explain. But before we get to your thoughts, let's just sum up what happened. As we last reported here on Popcorn Planet, he was at large. Well, now he was found at a McDonald's, weirdly enough. There are so many pieces of this puzzle that have been coming to light. He also had a big outburst at as arraignment, I guess. He was denied bail. And this was the clip that was found. There's a quote here. I want you to hear him.
Look at what he's doing. And completely out of touch. And an insult to the intelligence of the American people and lived experience.
His quote was, "This is completely unjust and is an insult to the intelligence, the American people, and their lived experience." What's actually happening is while this man murdered somebody in broad daylight, which is not okay, guys, a lot of the world is kind of rooting for him, is what's weirdly happening online. Now, he expressed his disdain for the health industry in a manifesto, which when you read it, it's hard. If he hadn't murdered somebody, Raees, I might have been like, yeah, I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah.
But he crossed that line. He did murder somebody, and that's the big problem. He sustained a horrible back injury during a surfing lesson. He was almost used a bomb to do this, as we're getting all these updates that have come in. And even Taylor Lorenz just got fired from Vox Media because she was out there sort of enjoying the fact that, yeah, this CEO deserved it based on everything that was going with the health industry. Now, look, Raees, I want to get your thoughts. That's where we are. This guy has now been found. He is arrested. People are labeling hot. Oh my God, he should be pardoned by Trump. All because of the person he murdered, which at UnitedHealthcare in the States, as you know, healthcare is not very good.
Yeah.
It's very problematic. A lot of, we're learning more and more through this case that a lot of like elderly were denied care that shouldn't have been. There's a lot of shady stuff that's now being exposed because of Luigi's actions. So, hero to some, even though he's a murderer. I'm curious, what do you think's going to happen now with this politically charged case, which is clearly going to get worse and worse with America just so fed up with the insurance plans, the corruption, the greed. Do you think this man might actually catch a break here?
Catching a break is going to be rough, but at the same time, we can't deny the fact that jury impartiality is also going to be a problem, right? The right to a fair trial applies to both. It's a prosecution thing and also a defense thing, that we don't want the jury pool to be corrupt. Sentiment is clearly on his side for the most part, that what we've seen. People can relate to the plea of elderly people dying or not getting, claims covered that they need to survive. So the sentiment is in his favor right now. What we don't know is all the evidence that's going to connect him to the murder and what else he said and did in the past. So we can bank on the fact that there's going to be interviews with people that he went to school with, any ex-girlfriends that broke up with him because he was crazy, he was derailed, other social media posts, DMs. So all of that's going to come out. That could tell the story.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming. His Twitter has been exposed. Like, the guy seemed to be a pretty smart guy, was a high Ivy League educated, clearly no dummy, was planning this out. Again, not good what he did. We're not condoning what he did. He took it too far. So I don't want to try to keep complimenting this guy, but not really what you'd expect. You know what I mean? And he's made it clear, like, this had to be done. And there is this weird debate. We were having it last night, but like, will this actually create change is what's going to be actually the tough question about this, because there needs to be a massive change in the healthcare industry. It is way too much greed, way about profit when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Could this man have actually kicked up a hornet's nest, didn't do it the right way, but what's the danger in your mind because of all that? And do you think it will actually cause some change?
Yeah, there may be some light that comes out of this darkness, because no matter how you color it, this is a dark moment, right?
Yes.
So
it's a murder. He's a murderer.
It's a murder. And we've all seen the memes of the different CEOs of healthcare companies, and one has the X through it. It's very, people are asking this question like, you know what? Maybe we really need to rethink this. So I would not be surprised if there's some bills that get before Congress that basically say, look, we need to address an underlying issue. But they'll have to do it in a way that doesn't justify the killing, obviously, because it's a very, very sensitive thing. But look, there's no questioning that, a lawsuit last year exposed the fact that there were claims that were denied. 90% inaccuracy rates with using this AI tool. And that means you're kicking elderly people out of their care homes, without the care they need. They're liquidating assets just to survive. People are mad about that. So in a very strange way, out of this darkness, I think the light that will come out is hopefully some policy change.
Right. I was going through because I was trying to find some of his tweets. I mean, it's wild though, because he's a meme. He's a hero. He's a murderer. Everybody putting, Sopranos and Luigi's Mansion was all over the internet. It's wild how we sort of lift up these killers. I mean, the same thing happened with Jeffrey Dahmer, thanks to the Netflix show, and Menendez brothers. People are starting to become more empathetic and in love with these people. And I could see this one really turning to a way where it's like, look, what he's fighting against is a problem. And so that's what's going to make this case really fascinating. I'm seeing it online, very divisive. I don't wish anybody to get fired, but I do sorely get excited when I see it's Taylor Lorenz, who's one of the biggest bullies online, biggest hypocrites online.
That was probably the right decision, BTW. That was probably the right decision.
But my point is, like, to even see her out there like saying these things, it's going to get wild. So I guess what's next is my question to you. Now he's been charged without bail. Do you think we'll get an outcome soon? Do you think Trump or someone else might get pushed to pardon him? Could that even happen?
He's not getting pardoned. There's absolutely zero way, because if you think of the people who would push to get a pardon, it's the opposite camp, right? It's the powerful CEOs and those people that, if anything, would stand a chance in front of Trump to get it. I don't know. I think there's a 1% chance of a pardon. I think there's going to be a criminal trial. His lawyer has come out publicly, his criminal defense lawyer, and has said, my client did not do the crime. Now, that could take a lot of different meanings. What does that mean? Does that mean that he means a prosecution is not going to be able to prove with evidence that this was premeditated murder?
It seems pretty clear he did, right? But then there's thoughts that the stuff was placed, like there's talk of what's that called when they're putting the evidence in
planting evidence.
Planting. There's talk about that. I mean, could that be real?
It could be. It could be that there's enough circumstantial evidence. Obviously, a grand jury indictment. I think what gets into trial and what a jury hears and where we are today are two totally different universes. That's what we have to remember as we're watching the story unfold: is what will actually come out and what a jury will get to hear. I mean, look, the guy had a gun, a ghost gun. How did he make it? When did he make it? He
had a manifesto.
He had a manifesto. He had fake IDs, right? And those are not very easy to come by. The quality that he had, he checked into a place with it. He got in and out of town.
Yep.
He left Midtown Manhattan, one of the busiest places on planet Earth, right, to get to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
McDonald's, yeah.
The McDonald's, right? Gotta have it your way. Is it have it your way? Is that
have
McDonald's
it your way.
Yeah, he didn't have it his way that day.
He did not. I mean, but also theories like, well, how'd they spot him in the McDonald's? Like, who's in on this? Like, there's so many questions. I mean, it seems clear he did it. The question is, though, will the internet and everybody else sort of find a way to make it so he didn't? Is that possible?
No, I think people are going to start throwing theories out left and right, just like everything the internet gets a hold of, right? There's all kinds of theories that, I already saw one. Look at the eyebrows. This guy has a unibrow. The other guy didn't. I'm like, dude, there's not exactly high quality lighting in the surveillance picture. You probably could look at that picture that you have up there. Doesn't look like he's got a unibrow. It looks like he has thick, bushy eyebrows. So people are going to do what they do on the internet, man. That's the underbelly, right, of society.
Yeah, bushy eyebrows were the worry. We're screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed, man. We're screwed. I know.
Look at all three of us.
I know.
But sorry, there will be a trial, you suspect, and it's gonna get more interesting. This case isn't going away.
This case is not going away. This is going to be a murder trial next year. Not to make it a Menendez brothers analogy, but maybe there's one here. Are they going to come out and say he was crazy? He was guilty, but he's insane.
And it's the healthcare industry's fault. Is there a way to make that happen?
You took the words out of my mouth. Had he received the quality care, we don't know his medical history yet. That's going to come out in discovery. You took the words out of my mouth. Was he insane, and he needed medical treatment. He didn't get the medical treatment, and so United Health, you have blood on your hands. Part 2.
Well, and this is the case that an Alex Spiro or some attorney is going to just be salivating over because he's a hero to many, and if they can find that way, isn't that kind of one of those make or break cases, or is this a case a lawyer is going to be like, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole?
Probably the latter. Probably latter. It's a very hard criminal case to defend. There's too much circumstantial evidence right now. I mean, it's literally they have. It seems like they have everything but the smoking gun, but they have footage of him pulling the trigger, what we think is him.
Right.
So he's maintaining that, again, his client's not guilty. That's what his criminal defense lawyer says. What does that mean? What does it mean? You can't match the bullet to the gun? It's a plastic gun? It's a ghost gun? Does it mean it
was a different 3D printed gun? It wasn't the one that actually did it.
Yeah.
There's ways to cause doubt is what the whole point of the trial is, right?
Exactly. That prosecution can't prove the elements of their claim beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the question. It's way too early to answer that. Meanwhile, the internet's going to have plenty of memes as we go into Christmas and New Year's. And
I mean, this guy's about to be a pop culture icon in the most.
It's such a weird thing, man. It's such a weird thing. As a lawyer, I look at this, and I
killed the CEO. I mean, look at this. I used the green shell.
Delayed
2 shells on this. Look at this.
God. Oh my God, that's wild.
It's I mean, it's just the internet's taken over, and that's what's crazy because there was a murder. This guy had kids. Even if he's a villain, it's affected people in a way that this isn't what we're supposed to do.
I think people need to understand this. Everybody needs to understand this. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, did not pull the plug on his family member, as far as I know. He did not go into somebody's hospital room and turn the machines off. Now, I understand the idea that your policies are responsible for deaths. There's no question about that, okay? Doesn't give you a right to shoot somebody in the back of the head, cold-blooded murder. There are other ways to achieve this. There's other things that they could have, been done. So I don't for a second want to support the notion that you can just shoot somebody because you didn't like what they did and they're responsible for other people's deaths. Again, that's why there was a civil lawsuit filed last year over the use of this AI tool that was known to be allegedly 90% inaccurate and denying claims for elderly people. That's why you have civil lawsuits. Not killing people.
It's a simple thing. Just don't do it. And I imagine Raees will be covering it more on his Instagram as well. So go follow him over at Beard Lawyer Instagram. You can then click his links, find more ways to support. So nice to have you in studio. High five.
Love it. Love it.
Make it happen there. Yeah, we did it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell if you haven't already. We will keep you updated on this case and everything else that's coming out there. So hit the bell for all. Smash the like and let me know what you think. Are you seeing the craziness? Are you surprised the internet's making him a hero? Is he a hero in your eyes? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching.